Disclaimer. In this story, the real names of all the victims have been changed to maintain confidentiality. This is not intended to hurt anyone's feelings or to expose anyone's identity. Hello, my dear brothers and sisters, and I warmly welcome you all to the new episode. Before we proceed with the story, please subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you receive notifications for all my videos. Now let's begin today's story. About 80 to 90 kilometers from the capital of Jharkhand, Ranchi, amidst high hills and dense forests, lies the district of Kunti. Some areas in this district are inhabited by tribal communities. These tribes suffer from ignorance, poverty, and illiteracy, and even today, they live a life similar to that of slaves. Kunti has a social organization called Asha Kiran, founded by Sister Gemma O.S., which works to free the tribals from ignorance and to raise awareness against heinous activities like human trafficking. True to its name, Asha Kiran was doing excellent work. The youth and women of Asha Kiran spread awareness through street plays in various places. The street plays, presented by enthusiastic artists from the organization, were having a deep impact on society. As a result, significant changes began to take place in the tribal community. Parents, who once hesitated to send their children to school, started overcoming old superstitions and sending their children to school. School children began traveling long distances through dense forests to reach their schools. It was the 19th of June 2018. In the district's Arki police station area, a street play was being organized by Asha Kiran at Stock Memorial Middle School in Kochang. The aim of this event was to spread awareness about government schemes and human trafficking. The event was being overseen by Father Alphonsus, the school's two teachers, Motai Mundu and Robert Hasapurti, along with two female teachers, Ranjita Kindo and Anita Nag. The play, featuring three young men, Roshan, Vikas, Rajan, and five women, Seema, Reena, Geeta, Bipasha, and Vandana, was intended to spread awareness through their art. They were telling the audience about government schemes through their performance. About an hour after the program started, during the play, a man met Sister Ranjita Kindo. He introduced himself as the head of the village of Budiha in Kochang and said he liked their program. He wanted a similar program to be organized in his village. Sister Ranjita initially refused, but after thinking for a while, she said the permission would have to be taken from Father Alphonsus. If he gave approval, the artists could go to the village. The man then requested that Sister Ranjita introduce him to Father Alphonsus. Ranjita agreed and took him to Father's office, which was located behind the school. With the man, there were three more young men, likely aged between 25 to 35 years. All four of them had arrived on motorcycles. Ranjita Kindo returned towards the stage. The play was over, and the performers were preparing to leave when Father Alphonse sent Sister Anita Nag to call all 8 performers to his office. Father Alphonse pointed towards a man and said to the performers, "This is the chief of Kochang, and he wants to organize a street play in Brudi village. It will take 2 hours. You all should go there and perform the play. Once you are done, the chief will bring you back here with respect." Upon hearing Father Alphonse's words, the performers refused to go with the young men. These young men also asked Sister Ranjita Kindo and Sister Anita Nag to join them, but Father refused to send both sisters with them, saying that since they were nuns, they couldn't go there. When the performers refused, the 4 young men who had arrived on motorcycles began to use force. They threatened the performers with guns and forced them into the vehicle of Asha Kiran and ordered them to head towards Brudi. The 4 young men followed them on 3 motorcycles. Asha Kiran's 8 performers, Roshan, Vikas, Rajan, and 5 young women, Seema, Reena, Geeta, Bipasha, and Vandana, were heading towards Brudi. About 6 hours passed and evening was approaching, but they hadn't returned to the school. Father Alphonse became worried about them. Then around 6:30 p.m., Asha Kiran's vehicle arrived at the school. Seeing it, Father felt relieved because all the performers were his responsibility. The vehicle was parked in the middle of the school campus, and the driver quickly ran out through the main gate. Father Alphonse grew suspicious and approached the vehicle. When he peered inside, he found all 8 performers in a near-death condition. Their clothes were torn and their bodies were covered in bruises. From their state, it was clear that something terrible had happened to them. They were in no condition to speak. Father Alphonse insisted they tell him what had happened, and when the performers shared their ordeal, Father Alphonse was horrified. He couldn't understand what to do. Father was influential in the area, with strong political connections. Taking advantage of his position, Father Alphonse threatened the performers. What needed to happen has happened. No one else can know about this, or there will be dire consequences. He continued, "If you speak out, your parents may even be killed." The performers were terrified by the threat and didn't share their experiences with anyone, not even their parents. 24 hours had passed since the incident. Seema from Kunti was feeling an unbearable sense of suffocation. Unable to bear the torment any longer, she confided in her parents and broke down in tears. Her parents were shocked and devastated. This was no minor incident. Seema's dignity had been violated, and they had burned her private parts with cigarettes. The perpetrators had crossed every boundary in inflicting torture. Seema told her parents everything that happened in detail. On June 19th, the man who had claimed to be the chief of Brutality village and had promised to take the performers for a street play instead took them to a dense jungle. The driver, Sanjay Sharma, was beaten and left in the middle of the road, and one of the young men took his place at the driving seat. They drove deep into the jungle, where several men armed with dangerous weapons were waiting. The chief ordered all the performers to get out of the vehicle. As they were ordered, each performer stepped out and lined up. The armed men surrounded them. Seeing the weapons in their hands, the performers trembled with fear. The chief approached Seema and stared at her with malicious eyes. Then he suddenly grabbed her hair and yanked it hard. Seema screamed in pain. "You filthy bitch!" she cried out. The chief glared at her and snarled, "Hearing your screams calms my heart, but who do you think you are?" Seema summoned the courage to ask, "Why are you treating us like wild animals? What did we do wrong?" "You're making a lot of noise, you bitch, and then you ask me what your fault is," the chief said, grinding his teeth. "But what does our play have to do with you?" "It has everything to do with you. You who are trying to raise awareness among the people with your play are the ones who have committed the greatest sin. You and your companions will be punished in a way that will haunt your conscience for life." "Please let us go, let us return home," Seema pleaded, joining her hands. "If our play is causing you trouble, we won't perform again. Please let us go." The chief said, "We'll let you and your companions go after the punishment. Understand?" With that, he released her hair. For a moment, Seema felt a slight relief. Watching the torment, the other performers were paralyzed with fear, unable to speak. Afterward, the chief signaled to his companions. Following his signal, the 5 young men, including the chief, dragged the 5 women deeper into the jungle, where they assaulted them one by one. One of the men was filming the assaults with their and the women's phones. The sadistic men weren't satisfied and proceeded to burn their private parts with cigarettes. The women writhed in agony and begged them to stop filming, but their pleas were ignored. The men continued their sickening behavior, making videos of their assaults. They even abused the male performers, making them drink urine and filming that as well. For 6 long hours, the 8 performers were subjected to unimaginable torture. As evening approached, they were thrown back into the vehicle and sent to the school. Upon reaching the given school, they narrated their ordeal to Father Alphonse A. However, instead of offering help, Father A threatened and silenced them. Nonetheless, when Seema's bravery led to a horrifying incident coming to light, her parents informed the Ashakiran organization, Sister Gemma OS, which was responsible for the children who had gone for the street play. The responsibility for their safety lay with the organization, but they failed to ensure it. When Sister Gemma heard the shocking incident, she was left speechless. She was stunned that, despite 24 hours having passed, the matter had not reached the police and was instead being suppressed. However, she was not someone to stay quiet. On the afternoon of June 21, 2018, Sister Gemma reached the Adki police station and submitted a written report. Upon reading the report, SHO Vipin Singh was shocked. Such a big and disgraceful incident had not even reached the police's knowledge. Based on Sister Gemma's report, the the Adki police filed a case against unknown assailants in a hurry. Asho Vipin Singh knew that Sister Gemma was no ordinary woman. She had connections at higher levels. Therefore, he took swift action. A case was registered under sections 341, 342, 323, 363, 353, 328, 56, 21, and 120B of the Indian Penal Code. The news of the incident quickly spread throughout the district. When it reached the ASP Ashwini Kumar Sinha, he rushed to the Adki police station to gather all the details. The case was not trivial. It was also related to human rights. To cover his tracks, the SP Ashwini informed the IG Naveen Kumar and Diagamol W. Homkar. Upon hearing the facts, these senior police officers were shocked. By evening, the case reached the Police Director General D.K. Pandey, the ADG R.K. Malik, and even the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Raghubar Das. On June 22nd, CM Raghubar Das summoned DGP D.K. Pandey to his office for an emergency meeting. During the meeting, he ordered a thorough investigation and demanded the exposure of the conspiracy, as well as ensuring the rapid arrest of the culprits. Following the CM's orders, DGP D.K. Pandey instructed IG Naveen Kumar to increase security for all the victims and interrogate them about the suspects. The victims' sketches were drawn and posted throughout the city. Afterward, medical tests confirmed that all the victims had been raped. 5 days passed without any significant success. However, on the 6th day, the police made a major breakthrough. The sketches posted throughout the city led to the identification of two of the accused, Ajubi Purti and Ashish Langa. They were from the West Singhbhum village of Kunti district. The police arrested both suspects from their homes and brought them to the Adki police station. During intense interrogation, they confessed, revealing the identities of their accomplices in the crime. In addition to Ajubi and Ashish, the incident involved John Jonas Tiad, Balram Samad, Ban Samad, also known as Takla, and Junas Munda, who were linked to the People's Liberation Front of India, PLFI. Based on the suspects' information, the police arrested the other four from the West Singhbhum area that same night. Despite their arrests, they initially denied their involvement. However, when these four suspects were paraded in front of the victims, who identified them as the perpetrators of the horrific crime, they confessed their involvement. These men had kidnapped the boys and girls from the school and, motivated by a desire for revenge, raped them to prevent anyone from going against their ideals. The arrest of all the accused led to a police team being sent to the school where Father Alphonse was located. The investigation revealed that Father Alphonse had orchestrated the entire plot. Based on the testimony of the victims and evidence collected from the scene, Father Alphonse was arrested on June 27th from the school premises. When Father Alphonse was arrested, there was an uproar in the Christian missionary community. Some members of the Christian community protested against the police, which led the ADG R.K. Malik to hold a press conference the following day. During the press briefing, he revealed that the leader of the Padalgadi movement, John Jonas, and other criminals were involved in the gang rape incident. The criminals had kidnapped the 5 girls and 3 male companions, driving them to a forest area 7 to 8 kilometers away from the school. There, members of the PLFI group, already waiting, had planned and executed the rape to teach the victims a lesson. After the press conference, the police brought Father Alphonse to court, where he was sent to judicial custody for 14 days. Despite protests from his community, the police were firm in their actions. Later, a fact-finding team from the WHO visited the region in August 2018, revealing that although the police had received information about the incident, there was still ambiguity in the FIR. They further uncovered that the victims had been unlawfully detained in police custody for 3 weeks under the pretext of providing security. In the months following the crime, the investigation continued. In May 2019, the High Court of Patna framed charges against the 4 remaining accused. The court had cancelled Father Alphonse's bail and ordered his judicial remand. On May 15, 2019, the court sentenced all accused to life imprisonment.